As you start to factor more and more, you're going to notice that special cases are going to pop up. So today we're going to look at two examples. One where a quadratic is written in general form, but it's missing the bx term. And then we're going to look at one other quadratic that's written in general form, but it's missing the c term. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is the walkthrough if you are using the area model. And so I want you to make sure you have your notes handy and jot down any notes if you'd like. All right, here we go. All right, the first example is the problem of the quadratic in general form that's missing the bx term. So it says x squared minus 36. And then in B, this is the one where the c term is missing, 4x squared plus 12x. So here's the general form, just in case if you don't remember what that looks like, and we are going to be factoring. So I'm going to rewrite A that looks like this. X squared plus 0x minus 36. That's really what it's asking you to do. So I'm going to start to set up a diamond problem, just like I would when I factor any other problem. Just, you know, the strategies for these two special cases are not going to be any different, but they're just a little unique. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply the 1 times the negative 36 to get negative 36x squared. So again, we're multiplying the a times the c. And then that sum, remember, is going to be that 0x. So I said list factors of 36, 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, and 6 and 6. I know that because if my product is negative and my sum is 0, then I need to find two numbers, one negative and one positive, that would have a sum of 0. And sure enough, it's these right here, 6 and 6. So one of the factors would be negative 6 and the other would be a positive 6. So I'm going to go ahead and put those right here in my diamond problem. Now when we factor using the area model, we set up a 2 by 2 rectangle. And I'm going to go ahead and put my 1x squared here. I'm going to put my c term, which is negative 36 here, and then I'm going to put negative 6x in one and then 6x in the other. All right, so when we go ahead to set up the factors, we are going to pull out a greatest common factor of each row and column. So in this problem right here, the negative 36 and the 6, the greatest common factor of both of those is going to be a 6. Greatest common factor for this column, 6 and 1, is going to be 1. But I don't know if you noticed, both of these do share a factor of x, so I'm going to pull down that x. And then greatest common factor for this row would be, again, 1x. And greatest common factor for this row, if they're both negative, it's going to be a negative 6. So when I go ahead and factor this one, I would write x minus 6. And then I would write x plus 6 for my factors. Now, if I was going to go through and check my solutions, it's always important to go back and remultiply those binomials just to verify that's what you get. So again, x times x, and you could use any strategy. I'm going to use FOIL, is x squared. X times 6 is 6x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. And then negative 6 times 6 is negative 36. And sure enough, these two terms would eliminate to make 0, and I would be left with what I started with. So just make sure if you ever are missing that bx term, you're going to be looking for factors. So again, factors of this top product, the product of the a and the c term. And you're going to notice that both of these factors should be the same number, but opposite in signs. All right, let's take a look at B. So we are going to set up our diamond problem again, just to verify, but remember, this actually means 4x squared plus 12x plus 0. All right, so we are looking for two factors of, if you multiply 4x squared and 0, that's going to be 0x squared. So we're going to look for factors of 0 that add together to get 12. So factors of 0 could be any number times 0. So if I have a sum of 12, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 0x plus 12x. So if I have a factor, if I'm looking for factors of 0, remember it's going to be 0 and any number. So 0 times 12 is going to be 0, but 0 plus 12 is 12. So again, if you're doing a problem that's like this, if your sum is 12x, you're going to be writing in 0x and then that bx term. All right, let's set up our area model. I'm going to put 4x squared in that lower left-hand corner, my C term in the right, and then I'm going to put 0x and 12x in for my area model. Now you're going to notice one whole row of this area model happens to be 0. I'm just going to eliminate that, or just kind of highlight that. I'm not going to do anything with that row. I don't need to, because greatest common factor of 0, there's really nothing you can do with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with this row. The greatest common factor of 4x squared and 12x is going to be 4x. There's my landline ringing. And then I'm going to go through and work backwards. So 4x times something equals 4x squared. That's going to be x. And 4x times a number that equals 12x is going to be 3. So my factors here would be 4x and then x plus 3. I'm going to go ahead and just check my answers. This one I'm going to use FOIL again. So I'm going to do 4x times x, which is 4x squared, and then 4x times 3, which is 12x, and I got it. So these are two unique situations that are going to pop up. Just remember, you can use the same strategy to be able to solve both. We're still using diamond problems in our area model, still finding greatest common factor. Now, if you did want to look at factoring by grouping, I've done these same two problems in another video, so feel free and watch those as well. Thanks.